Tonight on CFTK-TV News, new details from the family of missing fisherman Thomas Kelly, more information on the plane that was hijacked from Victoria, and the Skeena Valley seniors secure a new location for their thrift store.
Northwest BC's only television news team. We are CFTK-TV News.
Hello and thanks for joining us on this Thursday, July 17th, 2025. I'm Jaylene Matthews. Heartbreak and hope, those are the emotions felt by a local family as the search continues for their loved one. CFTK-TV's Helen Asante reports.
In an emotional interview, the family shared the community he was well connected and his disappearance has left them devastated.
Kelly, he worked in the sawmill out in Vanderhoof for a number of years, and he was down, he's from my community of Loch Lambs, and he got married and they moved up to Vanderhoof there, and where he stayed there, but his family is all back. They all live down in Loch Lambs and in Rupert. He was down visiting, getting his food fish this year, and he was quite happy that he got I think it was 6 cases of salmon this year. So, and they were going to be going back up to Vanderhoof, and he has relations in Uskir, just outside of Terrace. That's where he was, and they were fishing down at the river. But it's been pretty tough on the family.
When asked how the community can help, Gary expressed deep gratitude, said the outpouring of support has already been overwhelming.
Well, there's been a lot of help that, there's been people donating food to bringing it to this place, and, where everybody gathers. And there's been a lot of support coming out, and one hotel that gave gas coupons to people that are searching, and gave a couple of rooms to if it's needed by the family, and so there's been a lot of support.
Due to high tides, the search has now been temporarily paused as crew awaits safer conditions to continue.
Well, we're searching when it first came out, but it's been pretty hard with the way the river is. Pretty strong, and so we're kind of waiting for the river to kind of drop a bit, and they're going to have a huge search on Saturday. The tide's been pretty miserable, so it's been pretty hard.
While the GoFundMe is active, Gary says their hearts are full of gratitude, and what matters most now is finding Thomas Kelly and bringing peace to the family. Helen Asante, CFTK-TV News.
We'll continue to follow this developing story and bring you updates as more information becomes available. A group known as the First Nations Climate Initiative is urging the provincial government to invest in and enable a concentration of First Nations-led projects or partnered projects, mainly in the Northwest, worth over $60 billion. Representative Alex Grabowski says it's a collaboration led by 4 nations, the Metlakatla, Halfway River, Haisla, and Niska First Nations.
And they've been working together now since 2018 on ways and means for First Nations to contribute to climate change mitigation and adaptation, while also alleviating poverty in their communities. And they're involved in development activities that they want to make sure contribute to decarbonization of the economy here in Canada as well as overseas.
Grabowski says one of the key areas in which the group would like to see growth is in the government investment in transmission lines to power these projects, as well as policy changes that will ensure smooth processes and working with the provincial government to ensure benefits are shared between the province and ratepayers as well as their First Nation partners. Now we'll take a look at how the Skeena Valley seniors overcame being ousted from their last location and have found a new home for their thrift store. CFTK-TV's Kel Maslin has the report.
After losing their spot in the Skeena Mall last year when their lease wasn't renewed, the future was uncertain for the seniors' corner store. But now the creation of the Skeena Valley Senior Society is back up and running once again, and it's in a spot that many people likely would not have pictured immediately.
Seniors Corner on the Farm is the replacement for Seniors Corner in the Mall, for those that know that place. We are hoping to foster a sense of community and a sense of support for our seniors and their families. We're utilizing an old above-ground root cellar that was built in 1965 on the Browers Farm land on Bronze Island, which is 6 minutes from downtown Terrace. And we believe that it's not too far for people to come, and we have rides available for people who need rides.
Currently, the farm location of the store has been active for about 6 weeks and is also acting as a test of sorts so that the society can determine if this version of the store is truly viable. And for those wondering if the services and items that the store provides are any different from before, that does not appear to be the case outside of the smaller scale.
We are still providing the things that we provided when we were Seniors Corner in the mall, in that we are passing on medical aids for people. We are still passing on all the things that we had there, basically. So it's a place where you can gather, where you can sit and visit, where you can volunteer and find value in your day, add value to other people's days, shop economically, and donate where you feel we might benefit someone.
One additional benefit of the store being on the farm is that the society has the space to grow food, and they have taken advantage of that by selling homegrown raspberries, with plans for more produce to show up at the store in the future. The store is open from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Monday through Saturday, and 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Sunday. For CFTK-TV News, I'm Cal Maslin.
The City of Terrace has put a Stage 2 water restriction into effect due to the weather forecast calling for some hot days in the near future. Sprinkling hours are now restricted to a schedule. Coming up next, the astonishing and bizarre hijacking story. Premier David Eby has made some changes to his cabinet, putting key ministers in areas to improve the economy. Former Housing Minister Ravi Kahlon will take the jobs portfolio from Diana Gibson, who will move into the Citizens Services role, among other changes. Eby says the changes prioritize specific skills of various ministers that allow the government to better respond to the province's changing needs. More details now on the hijacked plane from Victoria that circled and landed at the Vancouver airport. And we've now learned the motive, which may come as a surprise. Here's CTV's St. John Alexander.
Surrounded by Mounties, guns drawn, a man is taken into custody. He doesn't appear to resist. Less than an hour earlier, at 12:56 Tuesday, the Cessna he was flying is spotted on radar. Airport sources tell CTV News the suspect had hired a private flight with a pilot from the Victoria Flying Club. Just before takeoff, the suspect produced a knife, and somehow the pilot escaped. Around 13:10, air traffic controllers in Vancouver knew things weren't right.
Yeah, there's a little Cessna orbiting the airport, trying to stop everyone from going flying for some reason.
Sources tell CTV News the suspect told the tower it was his plan to shut down airspace for 5 hours to protest global warming. He was sticking to a script, repeating it over and over.
So Vancouver's first line of duty is to protect any other aircraft coming into the field, which they did. They diverted 9 flights as far away as Calgary and Seattle.
I'm just going to let you know that so that you can continue looking out the window. It's a 172, and just in case anything starts heading towards you, you have the ability to move at your discretion.
13:15, seeing the aircraft flying up and down, operations now grounded, all non-essential employees were evacuated from the airport tower.
Quite clearly from YVR, you could see a small aircraft circling in the airspace.
And CTV News has learned at 13:30, U.S. fighters F-15 Eagle jets were scrambled, and Canada's CF-18s were preparing for takeoff.
Vancouver is a major international airport, and so nobody knew whether the person had nefarious intent and intended to hurt themselves or to crash into somewhere on the Vancouver airport. So quite concerning.
But just before 2, at 13:45, the suspect brought the plane down safely and was taken into custody. Now, we're told at no point did he threaten anyone with violence. At no point did he threaten any danger on the ground. And when it came time to land, he did let the control tower know.
Now we hear from the Victoria Flying Club, where the plane was hijacked from. Pilots call the situation bizarre and astounding. CTV's Robert Buffum reports.
Climb up here.
The head of the Victoria Flying Club gets in the exact same kind of plane that was allegedly stolen from the runway here Tuesday under threat.
If somebody pulled a knife on you, you could get out of here this way? That's exactly what you would do.
He was just landing when the suspect was about to take off and didn't realize what was unfolding, although thought the takeoff was happening slowly.
And then Tower sort of told him, like, get a move on. I taxied it. I didn't know anything was. I just assumed student pilot.
The club is remaining tight-lipped while the RCMP continue investigating, although they confirm the man isn't a member. CTV has learned he was a former pilot at a now defunct airline.
You have to have some knowledge, that's for sure.
He must have had some experience because obviously he managed to land the aircraft okay.
Keys right there, but I don't have the keys with me.
In order to fly the Cessna, you'd need a key checked out from dispatch.
I have quite an involved procedure for checking who the person is.
They're still assessing how they could prevent something like this happening again while offering counseling to staff.
We're all a little bit surprised, would be a mild way of putting it.
The bizarre event, something that's never happened here before in the club's nearly 80-year history.
So truly a one in a million situation. It's so truly astounding, completely out of the blue. As far as I'm aware, it never happened anywhere in Canada either.
Today, it remains the talk of the club.
Fortunate that this guy didn't crash the aircraft into a residential area or airport buildings or something like that.
Why he did it? I mean, it seems to me that the ferry fare isn't that high, so...
One of many questions here after a wild, unprecedented day. Robert Buffum, CTV News, Victoria.
Next, we'll take a look at your Northwest weather report. Tonight on the North Coast, expect conditions to be mainly cloudy with a 30% chance of showers overnight. Winds from the northwest at 20 kilometers an hour, except 40 over exposed coastal sections this evening and after midnight, a low of 12 degrees. Over the next few days on the North Coast, expect the chance of showers Friday, then a nice sunny Saturday at 17 degrees, before some more clouds come in. Daily highs between 16 and 18 degrees, overnight low steady at 12 degrees. Tonight in the Terrace-Kitimat area, expect a few clouds tonight with increasing cloudiness near midnight, then a 30% chance of showers overnight. Winds from the south at 20 kilometers an hour, gusting to 40, becoming light this evening, a low of 12 degrees. Over the next few days in the Terrace-Kitimat area, expect a sunny Saturday at 24 degrees. Then some clouds coming in, but temperatures staying relatively high. Daily highs between 21 and 26 degrees. Overnight lows between 12 and 14 degrees. Tonight in the Bulkley Valley and Lakes District, it's looking mainly cloudy with a 40% chance of showers and a risk of thunderstorm, a low of 11 degrees. Over the next few days in the Bulkley Valley and Lakes District, there's some potential for a thunderstorm tomorrow, then some clouds and showers are likely over the weekend, but it's going to stay hot, temperatures between 21 and 28 degrees, overnight lows between 11 and 13 degrees. Checking your highways around the Northwest now. On Highway 16, there's construction in Prince Rupert with a detour in effect, as well as bridge maintenance, line painting, and utility work going on. On Highway 37, watch for industrial traffic, bridge construction and maintenance, frost heaves and crack sealing. Highway 37A, there's paving operations, road sweeping, and a section with falling rocks. And on the Niska Highway, watch out for line painting. And this is what the roads were looking like this afternoon around the region from the view of the province's highway cams. Still to come, healthcare worker assault at VGH. A violent assault on a nurse outside Vancouver General Hospital is leading to continued questions about the safety and security of healthcare workers in the province. CTV's Yasmin Gandam reports.
It was in this parkade next to VGH on Monday evening when a 40-year-old woman was attacked, left with serious injuries, including to her face.
They're not life-threatening injuries, but they are serious injuries, serious enough that they required hospitalization and medical care.
It happened just after 7 p.m. when the woman, who is a healthcare provider, was walking to her car. Now police are investigating.
At this point in the investigation, we're still working to determine who is responsible and what the motive was. We're in the process of collecting all of the evidence that we can.
The BC Nurses Union confirmed the woman attacked was a nurse and she was stabbed. The union president says very little information is known at this time.
We know that it was a nurse, a BCNU member that was horribly assaulted. My understanding is that she remains in hospital at this time. And, other than that, I can't confirm whether or not this was a random attack or targeted.
Vancouver Coastal Health confirms to CTV News that this is an isolated incident and the safety of their staff remains a top priority. There have been a number of attacks on nurses at VGH in recent years, the latest in March when a nurse was strangled unconscious. Speaking at an unrelated news conference Wednesday, BC's health minister says there is not much known about the incident.
We have a lot of questions about this as well, and I understand police investigation is underway. It does sound different than other incidents of violence that we have seen inside hospitals and in healthcare facilities.
Osborne says once more details come out, her government will respond accordingly.
We want to know what happened and that we can draw more conclusions when we know those details, and it'll be appropriate to do that at that time.
It comes as a recent Freedom of Information request by CTV revealed no police or government agencies keep statistics on these assaults or criminal charges that may come from them, something Osborne did not elaborate on when asked. Yasmin Gandam, CTV News, Vancouver.
The effects of auto tariffs are hitting now, and as CTV's Adrian Gobriel reports, parts dealers are feeling the squeeze as they try to navigate alternate options.
This is basically your American stuff here.
Walking his warehouse floor, manager Moshier Bouillon points out the harsh reality facing Canadian consumers.
We're selling it for like 40% more just because it's cost so much to get.
Tariffs are taking their toll.
This aftermarket brake pad made in China costs about $20 to $30. Same part, made in America, now runs $80.
High W40 engine oil?
The struggle to find new suppliers outside of the U.S. has also left shelves bare with little product to sell.
We've been spending so much time contacting new suppliers, trying to think outside the box to make prices lower for the average person. And we just can't go to these American manufacturers anymore.
The Canadian Federation of Independent Business surveyed 187 small to medium-sized automotive companies and found that revenues have declined by an average of 13% since the trade war began.
I think we're suffering the most because we're not making huge profits already.
The CFIB claims the provincial programs set up to help the auto sector in Ontario have provided little assistance to small and medium-sized auto parts businesses.
No one wants to invest in their business when they don't know what's going to go on in the future, right? It's why we're seeing, paused hiring, paused investment, and revenue losses. And so that's why we need the government to create that certainty.
Finding an off-ramp from the U.S. tariffs has been a challenge. With an August 1st deadline for a trade deal looming, those negotiating on Canada's behalf are trying to leverage our long-standing relationship and natural resources.
Copper, lithium, graphite. We do have better leverage than others, but again, it's like dealing with the mob bus right now. It's the law doesn't matter, leverage does.
There are some replacement parts made for the big auto manufacturers, which are CUSMA compliant, meaning no tariff, though many of these aftermarket items made for used cars are slapped with a 25% counter tariff by the Canadian government.
Turning to the markets now, Canada's main stock index was up more than 200 points to cap off Thursday's trading session, helped by strength in the technology sector, while U.S. stock markets also climbed. The Canadian dollar fell 0.2 cents. The price of gold dropped $13.80. Oil rose $1.04. Natural gas dropped 4 cents. Aluminum was down $26. In Toronto, the TSX was up almost 234 points. The Venture Index rose by close to 5. In New York, the Nasdaq was up 155 points and the Dow gained 230 points. Still ahead, debate and controversy over a fence. The BC Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals says there's been one confirmed death of a dog linked to a toxic algae bloom at Nicola Lake outside Merritt. The SPCA says beaches have been closed due to the blue-green algae known as cyanobacteria. Pet owners should check any posted advisories and avoid water that appears discolored, scummy, or has a strange smell. Controversy over dealing with unfavorable interactions outside of Nanaimo City Hall has created division. CTV's Andy Garland reports.
The mayor of Nanaimo says walking into City Hall for staff and the public has become a safety risk.
Many people don't feel safe. They've been accosted, threatened, yelled at.
He adds it all started when an overdose prevention site opened up beside City Hall 2.5 years ago.
It's a pretty sad site, quite frequently. Defecation, we've had fires set, there's open drug use.
Nanaimo had floated a plan to build a $400,000+ fence around City Hall. Today, the plan is dead in the water as a finance committee voted down funding.
Clearly there is a level of mayhem, and we have a duty as employers to protect our staff and people who come to City Hall.
Okay, I can see that. But what about the rest of the 104,000 law-abiding, tax-paying business and residents?
The Nanaimo and Public Safety Association says the problem far exceeds the boundaries of City Hall, and the fencing idea is a slap in the face to the rest of the community and businesses who are having to deal with the same issues with safety on their own dime.
I don't feel safe. I know a lot of people don't feel safe. Businesses are wanting to close because they're very fearful.
The Canadian Mental Health Association, who operates the OPS, would not comment on the matter, but the Nanaimo area network of drug users who advocate for overdose prevention sites say the fence was unnecessary and there's no issue with safety.
We've stopped people from following other people that have worked at the building. We've stopped people from breaking into cars that are parked in the parking lot. There's a few bad apples and we get blamed for everything.
What the mayor and the Safety Association do agree on is more housing and treatment beds are needed to help people with mental health and addiction issues.
From simply housing people who need a place to live and be safe and secure, all the way over to secure and voluntary care.
The city isn't planning on revisiting the issue and will likely mean more patrols by community safety officers in the area. Andy Garland, CTV News, Nanaimo.
That's our news for now. For more local news, visit us at cftktv.com. Thanks for watching.